Hi there, and welcome back to another exciting podcast, Legacy Made Clear, with your host, Aaron Stringer with Red Cliff Legal. Aaron, how you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am just doing great. I'm excited because today we're going to learn how living trust can be made simple, how they protect us. And I'm going to start with a big question. I know the answer to this. I know you know the answer to this. What is a revocable living trust?
It's a great question. You hear the word all the time. You hear wills, trusts, and different things, living wills, living trusts. So, the just focusing on what a revocable living trust is, it's essentially it's a contract that people make with themselves. So it's kind of a
Ooh.
interesting, tool that we use. So I say that because they are the ones that create this contract. So a client, they come to me, they want to trust, they create it, they have, full control over what goes into it, and they are also the trustee of the trust. And so they're wearing kind of both hats. They're making a deal with each other in a way. So it's kind of an interesting, if you're having problems negotiating with yourself, then you got some other problems you need help with. But for our purposes, that's how it works out. You're making this contract with yourself and putting a plan together. It's a great tool to use in estate planning.
So, what happens if one of yourselves defaults on the agreement?
Yeah, again, you got problems that maybe I can't help you with there, but
Yeah, we'll do a podcast with a psychiatrist or something to help
there
out
you
with
go.
that. That's good to know. Making a contract with yourself. I like that. That's really good. So, I understand that works both during life and death.
It does. That's one of the great things about this specific type of trust. So when I say trustee, that's kind of the manager of the trust. So we create the trust. The big second step that's very important is we actually transfer that person's property into the trust. That's called the
Oh,
funding process. Very important, and that's what's often missed in these DIY type of cases where people try to put their own thing together. You have to actually transfer your property into the trust. That's the only way you actually avoid probate. That's what you have to do. That's that important second step.
yeah. We were talking about that at today's meeting when the questions came up about trust and living trust, and one of them was to be sure and fund the trust. It just
Yeah,
doesn't happen automatically, especially if you got real estate. You've got to put that in there.
exactly. Yep, that deed needs to be prepared and recorded with the county. That's what makes it official. So, getting back though to your question about life and death. So,
Yeah,
the trust is created to, what we think about in estate planning is typically, what happens with our stuff after our death.
yeah.
And that's very important. So, of course, it's going to cover that in detail. But what we don't think about as much is that period of life where maybe we just are incapacitated. We don't have the ability to help, make our own decisions or manage our own property.
Yeah.
So for that time period, we've named a successor trustee, so someone that can step in if we need help, and they can manage that property for us. But we've given them very specific instructions about how to do that within the trust language itself. And of course, the primary beneficiary during that time should be yourself. You've put all the work into getting all this property and getting it into the trust,
Yeah.
and you're going to still need it to take care of your own needs during the rest of your life.
So, what are the benefits of a living trust?
So there are a lot of them. We probably don't have time to go over everything, but the number one thing, of course, is avoiding probate. So
Yeah.
that should be on everyone's list of goals when it comes to estate planning. Um, Number two, it gives you control. So it allows you to state clearly with specific instructions about what you want your family to do if you're not there to make decisions for them. And then, other things that we don't think about as much, privacy is a big deal
Hmm.
because it's not going through probate. You don't have to advertise to the world by filing a court document what your plans are. A revocable living trust is not filed with the county or the state or any other federal government or any other government entity. And so you don't have to share with everyone, first of all, what your plans are, what property you own, all those details that shouldn't be out in the world. Um, and then there's a lot of things that just come from because you're avoiding probate, you're giving your family peace of mind, you're saving them a lot of money, you're giving them a chance to administer the estate much faster and without the need of that judge overseeing everything.
Yeah. Are there some common misconceptions that people have about them?
About trust, yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing, especially about the revocable living trust,
Yeah.
many people believe that it provides asset protection. In some ways, it does. Most of those come after your death, but that's just not one of the goals for this type of trust. We're not trying to, with this type of trust, we're not trying to avoid creditors or ex-spouses or anything like that. This is meant to avoid probate and have a plan for what happens with your property. So it's not going to keep creditors or lawsuits away from getting access to your property.
Wow.
There are other tools that can do that, but this is not one of them.
Sounds great. Well, it appears to me that everyone needs one of these living trusts. So, Aaron, if someone listening today and watching would like to speak with you, I know that you offer free consultations. Tell us your phone number, your email address, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I do. If you want to learn how maybe this applies to you, and get more into detail about what your needs, please give me a call at 435-817-9187. Email is astringer@redclifflegal.com. And you can check out the website, same place, www.redclifflegal.com.
Great. And I do want to remind everybody to not only watch, but subscribe and share your Legacy Made Clear podcast. But going back in time, if anybody wants to know anything, they can check it out all there on the YouTube podcast. Aaron, thank you so much. It's been a delight as usual. We'll see you again next time with another edition of Legacy Made Clear.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.